Shit. I got to start looking at comments earlier. All right, awesome. That took a long time. How you guys doing? Everybody good? I'll get better at that, I promise. I'll work on it. All right. Jesus. All right, so let's start over right at the top. So portfolio, you can see it's down about 40. Hood and PayPal outperformed. Thank you, whoever wrote MUTED. That's the one I caught, so thank you for that. It's a little weird how I have my setup now, the way I'm streaming using Restream, so I've got to get used to it and be able to see the chat better. Thank you, BT, for the $2 just to get me to unmute. Anyway, Hood did well today. PayPal did well. Palantir was doing well. SoFi was doing well. There's a lot of the market was doing well. What I was saying when I was muted is the Russell also outperformed both the S&P and the NASDAQ on the day. We had good news. Lots of stuff to cover in regard to rates and just everything. There's so much to cover today. So I'll get to it. Let's get going since we're a couple minutes behind because of the mute. Portfolio allocation, I went ahead and updated this. I'm also going to be adding sections, try and see if I can divvy it up to get it to where I can make it look clean and reference stock versus calls for this as well, so kind of subdivide it. And then I'll put my portfolio allocation for my shitcoins in here too. So that should get updated sometime this week. I did do buying today, so I bought a small amount. I bought Iron. I was making a case on that too. I'm kind of interested in the company. And let me just move this in a little bit. Franz Backer, there's a bunch of people, everybody from the Iron community. Thank you so much for just inundating me with all kinds of content to go over in regard to the company, especially in regard to the short report. It was awesome. I'll probably cover a lot of that later this weekend when we go over the Bitcoin mining video. But Franz is nice enough to provide updates today too, where these guys are up to 18.8 exahash operational. At 16.3 joules per terahash efficiency, which I think is the best out there. So it's really an interesting company. And if I'm going to be involved in an HPC play, especially a company that doesn't hold Bitcoin, I guess it'll be this one. All right, let me keep rocking and rolling here. I'm down like 100K in MicroStrategy and MSTX. Coin, please. That's cool, man. Today? If it's today, that sucks. I know I saw MicroStrategy down like 4.5, so it did get hit. Let's keep rocking and rolling, though. So if we look at the Fear and Greed Index for CNN, we see that it's right in the neutral territory, just slightly above it at 51. Stock or crypto, we've got 39 for the Fear and Greed Index, so starting to drift towards neutral. We don't have any new information in regard to tech layoffs, so things have been quiet on that today. The CME Fed Watch tool is representing now an almost 2-to-1 chance of getting 50 bips versus getting 25. You could ask me why that is, outside of political reasons and maybe really needing to change the narrative very quickly. I don't know. Maybe the Fed's finally catching up. I mentioned this before, but I think that Jerome Powell might do exactly what he did when he said inflation was transitory and then raised rates at the most aggressive rate in history. Only he might do it in reverse while he tells us everything is fucking great. So getting 50 bips tomorrow, I don't think that's crazy. I think if anything, that might actually be likely. Also, my buddy Andres Stino Larson said the big question with three Democrats calling for 75 bips is whether this is a way of giving the Fed leeway to do 50 without being accused of accommodating Harris. I don't know if it's for that reason or not, but I can tell you that when you telegraph that kind of thing, it definitely seems like there's coordination with trying to help the Fed do 50. I definitely see that. And so, yeah, I do believe that's true. Cross-border capital, my buddy Michael Howell is showing how liquidity is continuing to increase. So basically, this is world central bank liquidity. It's got the end of August 2024, so it's pretty recent, only a couple weeks old. And we want there not to be red. We want it to be nice and green because it means that the different central banks around the world are pushing out liquidity and not contracting it. So this is a good sign. It's what we want to see. Things are on track. Again, the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index just really outperformed. I mean, the best outperformance than we've seen for a year. So it was nice to see. It makes the market look strong, and we don't hate that. Also, M2 money supply is expanding. I've showed this before where it started in the breakout zone, but it continues to go up, just like the global liquidity stuff that we're seeing from Michael Howell, Lynn Alden, a bunch of other people. All these metrics show that we're in expansion, which is what we want. All right, so Michael Howell does believe, he said world GDP growth and PBOC liquidity. That's the People's Bank of China. He said that in his post, and I'll just back out here, and you can see how they're kind of trending up. Open market operations, then it shows GDP momentum, but it just shows the liquidity that we're seeing from the Chinese side. And what he says in here is latest update of China PBOC liquidity and world GDP concurs with today's upbeat NYFRB Empire State Survey, slow, not recessionary economy. Now, I think China has a lot more issues than that, but I am not upset with them slowly providing liquidity and continuing to try and ride out the storm. I think all of that's really good. Now, if we click here, this is a chart I wanted to show you guys in regard to China since we're already in here. The Financial Times has this chart. It looks like it's end of August 2024. And what we're looking at here are companies that were founded in China. Do you see a problem here? Does anybody, if you guys are in chat, I'm not good at charts. If you could look at this chart and tell me if it shows any pending concerns with what's going on in the Chinese economy, I'd love to know it, especially since we're 8 months into 2024. All right, so this is just one that I wanted to show you. I won't go too deep down the rabbit hole with China. I'm probably going to do another one on I've been promising a video forever, but things are happening now in China where I think it really is starting to warrant it, so I might actually do it. And this will be the prevailing slideshow in it because it's damning. All right, already got past that one. Move on. Oh, I posted this today too. I'm probably going to piss off a bunch of Palantir people, but that's okay. That's what I do. So I posted this chart. It says market comparison in the billions between Tesla and Palantir. And this is 1.5 years old, roughly. I said, look at the difference in market cap size between Palantir and Tesla. Don't get me wrong. It's not an easy road for Palantir to get to where Tesla is right now. But I hold more Palantir versus Tesla because the risk to reward over the next 1.5 years or 1+ years is probably a lot better. Note, I also think Bitcoin will outperform Palantir and that CleanSpark, Riot, Hut, MicroStrategy, GBTC, and Ether will do better than all of them. Basically better than, just Bitcoin on its own. So I said, I own even more of those. They make up about 75% of my portfolio right now based on my current level of conviction. Anyway, to get back on track, I use Tesla shares kind of as cash and as a source of funds. I'm just treating it as cash that could lose 40 to 50% if things get really bad for Tesla. Oh, and Tesla only makes up about 10% of my current portfolio. So you can see it here. So here's my plan. My plan was to make a bunch of money off of Palantir and Bitcoin-related investments. That was 1.5 years ago. I did that. I made a shit ton of money off of that, right? There's a reason I was up 600% last year. So that played out perfectly. And then I said, in this plan, what I will be doing is acquiring more Tesla. I think I did that. Do you guys think that's enough? Let me go back over here real quick. I don't know what slide that was. Let me find it. Oh, we're getting close. I said I'll be acquiring more Tesla, and I'll also as I make money off of these things, I'll be acquiring more Tesla on the way up. And I did that too. And since then, again, the plan is to reap rewards off of Tesla and Bitcoin. Again, this is my second round for Bitcoin this cycle, right? This is the second major move. And it's working out exactly as I had planned. And also, let me just see here. I think I have some more Palantir stuff. I wanted to point out for anybody who might be newer here, on May 7th of 2023, I wrote this big long write-up talking about why from a technical level Palantir was going to go through the roof and how I was playing the trade, what options I was using. People that followed this actually made a lot of money. But anyway, so I was talking about how I'd done really great off of Meta and Tesla, made $250,000 a piece off of them, and that I was going to do that exact same thing here with Palantir, and I did that, and I ended up making $600,000 off of it. So the only thing I'm trying to say here is that I had this plan. It worked out almost perfectly. Palantir did go up about double from what I thought it was going to, but it did it over a prolonged period of time. So it's still right to get out of the options, right to cash that in. Made a ton of money off of crypto. All that's played out. And then this year has just been a matter of dialing into Tesla more, getting into crypto more. And now I have tons of it. So the plan didn't really change at all. The only thing that's really fallen off of that, guys, is me giving up on ETH and really devoting a lot more towards Solana because of people like James with Invest Answers. But my play has turned out really well, made me a ton of money, and now I'm set up for the next leg of it. And so I was telling people like, hey, my bags are packed now. I got my Tesla. I got my Clean Spark. I got my shit coins. I got my Mara. I got ArcG as an asymmetric bet. I got PayPal. I got MicroStrategy, Hood, Bitfarms. Just got some Iron today. I got Flex, IBIT, Dole, whatever, Cypher. I've got all kinds of shit. So I'm set up for asymmetric returns right now. And I just wanted you guys to know that the plan is going exactly as intended, and it's working out really well. And I hope that people are paying attention and on board for this next leg. And again, so I did also too. I don't know if I had the post right there. I should go back to it real quick actually, because I am skipping part of the story. So I did say today that the next part of this plan, which is probably important. Let me scroll down here. I can just right back here. There we go. I basically said, hey, I made all this money. I did all this. I believe that we're topping on Palantir. We're overbought now on the monthly time frame for the RSI, and it's just a number of factors. And what I believe is going to happen instead is we're going to grind sideways for even up to a year. I do believe we can get to all-time highs, so we can see like 46 on Palantir before it starts doing that. But I would encourage you, if you've made 550% or more, which is about what I made on Palantir, you might want to think about trimming some of that, especially if it makes up the vast majority of your position. And I think you should get ready for exactly what I'm talking about, which is the second leg of this, where we watch Tesla, we watch PayPal, we watch a bunch of these other plays, including all the Bitcoin stuff and Hood, play out and make you a lot of money. So anyway, that was my thought. I also wanted to talk to a couple of other things here. Lots of things going on today. Actually, very busy day. Outside of Trump getting shot at, or almost getting shot at yesterday. It's been a crazy 24 hours. I did say this, and I wanted to give some perspective on where I am right now for the mining side. So some of the people from the iron side are very happy that I finally bought iron, and I only got it's 0.37% of my portfolio, so not exactly a huge amount. But I said, somebody asked me about it and said, finally you're in. I said, I honestly hadn't been putting much thought into miners for at least the last half of a year. I get that way. I'm just trying to be efficient and manage my brain juice, since there's only so many hours in a day. Plus, this is my third cycle, so you can start to get bored with all of it. Hell, I had my own mining warehouse, so I've served my time. And then I just said, also in the end, they all kind of trade roughly the same. And that's mostly tied to market cap, like the size of the market cap and the multiplier behind it, right? Kind of the stuff I've been talking about. And I said, sure, there's a fastest horse, but most of them get to the finish line either way, at which point you dump them hard as shit. Because that's the game plan. I want people to just really know like what the game plan is here, and that is my game plan. I also shit on Ethereum. I showed the last 3 months of Ethereum and where it sits versus these others, and you can see how just brutalized it's been. I think it's kind of dying, guys. And if I look over at something like this, this is ultrasound money. This shows how Ethereum for a while. Let me see. I can change the time frame here too. You can see Ethereum for a while was disinflating, so it was actually the amount of money supply was going down, which is nice. You want something deflationary if you're holding onto it as an asset. Theoretically, it can make you tons of money. And don't get me wrong, Ethereum can do all right, but it's since been inflating again, and so now we're starting to expand the money supply, and it's not a huge amount. It's like 0.6%, so it's a little bit better than Bitcoin. But just with everything going on with Ethereum and the fact that, a lot of the stuff has moved to layer 2, I just don't know. I don't see why. I don't own a lot of Ethereum at all. I have like dust, honestly. Maybe I've got a couple of grand. I don't know, maybe 10 grand. But I haven't looked everywhere, every crevice of it. But I have Solana as the vast majority of my shitcoin. And the reason I have that is because it is faster. It is simpler in concept and design. It costs a heck of a lot less. It's got a faster growing community, and it's 1/5 the market cap of Ethereum. So the multiplier tells me, based on market caps and how they act as multipliers, the success chances, I think, of Solana this cycle are really large. And so I don't see why that wouldn't be my primary asset, and why I would put a lot in a large cap like Ethereum. Maybe this cycle it takes a break, and by that I mean it just doesn't perform as well as one might hope, especially somebody with a large bag of Ethereum. So anyway, my 2 cents on that too. I guess I'm shitting on a bunch of things today. I'm shitting on Palantir. I'm not shitting on it. I actually love the company. I love everybody in the investment community. Well, can't say everybody. Some of them suck, but most of them are long gone because they gave up earlier. But yeah, it's just like I gotta tell the truth. And when I think that something like Palantir is getting toppy, I gotta say it. And again, I said it before too. I've said it before too. So people are going to be like, Jesse, you missed the last doubling. Yes, but I made 500% plus off of it. So who gives a fuck in the end? Also, there's some controversy about Coinbase and Bitcoin and the custodianship of BlackRock and other ETFs and whether or not they're being accountable for it and why Brian Armstrong isn't showing proof of reserves. And I will get to chat in a little bit. Sorry, guys. But I wanted to just cover what Eric had, Balkunas said. He's like the ETF guy, right? He told us these were coming. He said, people keep asking me if I believe him. Yes, I do. And so Brian Armstrong was literally just saying, hey guys, I'm not going to give you like people's addresses. You just got to trust me, bro. And people in the crypto world do not like that response. So let's just start with that. But Eric is saying he believes that he's right, that the money's there. He said, yes, I do, mostly because BlackRock isn't playing around. They would flip out of coin if coin was screwing around with their BTC. I think people are more worried about BlackRock being the company that's trying to screw people here. Personally, I think that's what people are worried about. But he says, plus it would violate the 33 Act, which again, people, like if you get caught with this kind of stuff, it's a big deal. You could talk about manipulation in the gold markets, but that was like some traders during certain time frames for JP Morgan, and there's some other stuff like that you could maybe equate to it too. But there's too much. The pseudo-anonymous nature of Bitcoin makes it to where that same kind of stuff isn't easily as done. And again, the money supply can't be expanded if the price goes up like gold can. There's way less ways to suppress the price of Bitcoin. You could do it from some technical levels, but it isn't easily done, and it's not easily done for long periods of time. So I do agree, and there's more here too. He said the reason this theory is a thing, or thing is twofold. He goes, one, Bitcoiners looking for a scapegoat to blame for selling pressure instead of looking in the mirror. It must be the ETFs, but all they've done is saved your bags from sliding into oblivion multiple times. I don't know that that's true. I think they probably have been doing everything they can to try and suppress the price because it makes sense, right? Like you're gonna use every tool in the toolbox, but this is a tougher nut to crack, and eventually you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose on this one. It says, 2, people who invest in BTC are generally skeptical of government and institutions. Yeah. Yes. Excuse me. That is correct. And then it says the same thing happened with gold bugs and GLD, which they called paper gold, said the vault was empty. It wasn't true. This is like deja vu all over again. So again, just a few things I disagree with. There was gold manipulation in the past. It was easier to do. This is not easily done. Again, the way the gold supply can increase versus the fact that Bitcoin's contracts and just had. These guys are using their tools to try and suppress the market, but it doesn't last long. And that's my only point. I guess I could have just said that, but I wanted to explain it. Dennis Porter also said, hey, peer-reviewed paper highlights Bitcoin's mining ability to enhance green energy biomass generation. Paper cites multiple pieces of Bitcoin research from Satoshi. So again, it's just positive stuff that are changing the narrative around it. My friend Titan of Crypto said, this isn't insane for a top scenario in Bitcoin. And it's not, because if you look, it's beautiful math. It shows that the lows of this previous cycle in 2012 and 2013 led to the high if you drew that line up. And let me just zoom in a little bit more. So you can see the trend here. This trend line literally was the top. And then you look at this next trend line and you kind of loosely draw it here, but not too crazily. You can see where it's kind of, the neckline right over here. It's the neckline over here, but it ended up topping around that range too. And I would argue that it maybe could have went a little bit higher. So if anything, again, the price went over the band, not under it. And over here, again, 420, does it seem that absolutely crazy and ridiculous mathematically, especially when you have, this line that's, slowing down in its ascent? I don't think so. I don't think it's crazy. I'm not saying it'll get there, but I don't think it's nuts. Also, Bitcoin Magazine said spot Bitcoin ETFs had 236 million in inflows on Friday, the most in almost 2 months. Bullish. This is great. You want this, right? You want the largest numbers we've seen in a while. Eventually, this will start to curve up. You can see how the price has been turning down. You can see how inflows were slowing down. But I think what we're getting ready to see is we're going to see this thing starting to pop off pretty quickly. And maybe it's the election that does it. Maybe it takes that long. I mean, what is that now? That's not a crazy amount of time. It's like 6 weeks. So can you wait 6 weeks, guys, to start getting rich? Can you wait 6 weeks? I can. My friend Steve Urkel, dude, said, Iron, trying to break out. Let's see if it can get some follow-up through this week. It is trying to do that, and we can look at that price in a little bit here. It did quite well today. Lark Davis said it's been 151 days since the Bitcoin halving. In the 2020-2021 cycle, Bitcoin moved sideways for 160 days after the halving before going parabolic. Will history repeat itself? Yes, I believe it will. All right, I think that's about it for the Bitcoin stuff. Let me get caught up with chat, too. I've said a lot in a short period of time. So let's get over here and start looking. I'll try and get caught up quickly. CJ, hey Jesky, asking now in case I missed the live. Since Palantir has ran so much recently, would you sell some stock or look into selling covered calls? I never really do covered calls, but you could probably do that. You just want to, the thing is, here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. And again, this is not financial advice. This is my thought process, right? We're all grown-ups here. But what I'm thinking is Palantir is topping. And if Palantir is topping, what I want to be doing instead, and let me just go up here. Let me see if I can find my chart that I had where it's down a little bit further, right here. So if I think this is topping, and again, we're in oversold territory all the way up to the monthly time frame. So we've had a hell of a run. This thing is up 530%. It might be up over 600+% by the time it tops. I would sell here. I wouldn't do covered calls, and here's the reason why. I want a lump sum. I want to take some of that capital and I want to redeploy it to an area that I know is going to do really well, which I think is going to be obviously everything Bitcoin related. And again, my Tesla calls, I've got the bets on PayPal, Hood, ArcG, and some of these are already starting to play out. So that's kind of my thought process there. I think that that is what I would do instead, because again, I want to put some of that capital to work in something that can get me an asymmetric opportunity, which means, you know how I like it. If I can get a 300 to 500% at least, that's a great number for each of these plays. And if I get most of them right, I do really great. And I think I'm going to get all of them right, like 90% maybe. So I'm pretty excited about it. Needs 55. Afternoon, Jesse. Great work and congrats on streaming on X. I did attend Friday and was trying to keep track of tickers for you. I put them in this chat, but didn't show up on your main screen. Yeah, sorry, man. I've got so many chat windows. I really have to just get used to how this works. Here's everybody telling me that my mic was muted. We're scrolling past all of that. Wow, you guys tried really hard. And we're back. And here's a real comment. Okay. It says Rob Group. Silas says coin, please. We'll look at that. We'll look at Bitcoin, actually. It's price action right now here. We'll get into tickers. Silas, Rob Group. If you had $90,000 to invest, would you go all in with Tesla and Hood calls, as well as MSTX? Ooh, 33% each. That doesn't sound crazy. I think Hood is also a play like Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin-like play that's going to benefit from it, along with all the other stuff that they're doing. They are a large cap, but I think it's a great opportunity. And again, on the 16th, 10/16 or whatever, we get some good news. So it'll be good. This thing can pump for a while. So I think all three of those are great. Let me pull up. I'll pull up coin and I'll start answering this question. You know what? I want to get through questions first, and then I'll start rolling through some of these. If you can compile that list again, that would be amazing. Sam Richard, have a look at Nio. I think the company is doing great. I hate Nio, dude, so bad. You don't probably know this about me, but here's where I have huge problems. Okay, it's how horribly the business is run, and I can show you an example of this before I just shit talk it, which I'm going to do. I'll at least show you why I fucking hate it so much. It's in China, and I just showed you a chart. I just showed you this chart. Let me find it. Where is it? Right here. It's in China. This is China. China, not good. Not a good situation going on in China. I wouldn't own anything in the investment space in China right now. And I'll make a video. Maybe I'll try and do it this week. I keep saying that, but I really need to. I don't like things are getting weird, but again, the problems I have with Nio, it's a debt dying company. Its revenues are flat. It made $2.5 billion. In the process of doing that, it lost 722 million. They only have, what do they have for debts? They have 3 billion, and then they have 1.6 billion in bonds and 3.45 in cash. Even with government subsidies, this company can't even come close to being profitable. And you can see where share dilution occurred. Let's look at what their estimates are. Let's see how they're doing. Revenue growth, 99% year over year. Wonderful. Now, if you could just make money. We have no estimates here because, well, I don't know. That just seems to be, I don't know if that's a technical glitch on here with Alejandro. I'll ask him. Or if we just don't have the data points because, again, this is a company out of China. But if you even look at the operating leverage over here, it's not really getting better. And so this company is just going to dilute more and more shares. And if we look at the stock, let's just pull up the stock. Actually, let me do this. Oh, crap. I forgot about that. This thing's weird. 1 second here. I'm just going to pull up random whatever. So if we look at Nio, I keep forgetting I got to change my default browser. Sure, it's above the 200 on the daily. That looks nice. That looks like a launching point. Could it go higher as a stock? I mean, let's see how far it's fallen. Sure. Sure, it could go higher. It could launch. You could make money off of this. But here's the thing. Here's what I struggle with. If you do this, get the fuck out by 7 something. Get the fuck out by here. I just don't. China's economy is suffering greatly. This company can't even make money, even with government subsidies. And they have no real growth in revenue. If anything, it's probably going to go into decline. So if you doubled your money on this, I would get the fuck out. That's my take. I'll pull up coin while I'm here. And actually, let's just roll through Bitcoin. We'll roll through all those charts. 1 second. Let me do this. Oh, I can't do my buttons because the thing's fucking broken. All right, I got to remember to fix that. That sucks. It slows me down. I don't like it. So again, Bitcoin got a little bounce. Nothing crazy. I actually think this is probably going to be the area we bounce. And maybe we pull back up to 59.60 here. Especially if things look good with the Fed. And I think they're going to be good with the Fed. I think they're going to do 50, like I said. I think that's going to happen, but I think they're going to justify it. And I think the Democratic Party has given them a reason to by having a bunch of politicians come out the day, a couple days before and talk about it. So I think that'll do all right. Let's look at MicroStrategy. We'll just roll down the line. Oh my God, I can't hit these buttons. I'm going to fix that for next time, guys. That drives me fucking nuts. Not just being able to click a button and have a thing come up. I'm just going to stick with coin then. Feeling lazy. You guys are going to have to call out your stocks. I'm not going to roll through all of it. Not today. Not until I fix that. All right. So assuming coin has found the bottom, hasn't really went anywhere now. It does have a quick move up though. I mean, it's really based on volumes. This thing doesn't really hit pressure until 200. So it's going to move. It's going to move pretty quick. As long as Bitcoin starts going up, which I think we're still on point to do. But if things turn out bad with the Fed on Wednesday at 1 o'clock or 1:30, whenever he gets talking, then we'll see what happens. Then it could get weird. Let me see here, Marty McFly. C-list, your swings are brutal, man. Hang in there. It happens. Happens for a while. If you play like I do, and probably like C-list does, you'll be down for a while before you're up a lot. But it's still worth it. If I can get 600% for last year, and then this year, if I can get 100%, that's all I'm looking for. Conservative. I know there's a little, 3-ish months, 3.5 months left, but I think that's what I'm going to get. And then next year I get, 400% on top of that or 300%. That would be amazing. So I think that's what's happening. Let's see if that does. Disease Kodak. Let me see here. Do you plan to hold any hedges going into the election in case the bad situation of Kamala getting elected happens? Or just chill where you're at, since maybe you made some profit from options and switch to some stocks that which would be safer. I'm not. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I'm doing hedges. I'm betting. Here's what I'm betting on. I'm betting on two things. I'm betting that either way, Bitcoin will go up. Will be up by spring of next year. So I'm betting on that, no matter what, if Kamala wins. And here's the thing: I don't think that Kamala, even if she wins, will have control of the Senate. So I think she'll kind of be a lame duck. She'll let a bunch of people over the border, maybe another 10 to 20 million, if she just opens the filter back up again after she gets her seat. And she could try and do some other stuff, but I don't see how they get things past the Supreme Court. And I don't know. I think there's going to be some backlash, too, at judicial levels across other parts of the country that have maybe been more liberal either way. So that's like the worst case scenario that I see. And I don't think it's worth trying to time Tesla and Bitcoin and these other things right now while we see global liquidity expand. So while we see, the money printer go burr, because it has to. These people have no choice. They have to do this stuff, guys. And they're both saying they're going to do it. These are some of the largest spending packages we've ever seen in history. The only difference is one of the candidates, Trump, is talking about actually trying to reduce the size of government while doing one of the largest spending packages in history, which seems like the better alternative. But I don't think the big tax stuff comes in. AP said, just rewind the feed. CJ, it went over it. Are you going to listen to the Fed meeting live on X eventually? Respecting your time. If not, sir, just asking this since interesting to watch together. I will at 1:30, actually probably at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, we'll do a live session. We do that every time that they have a Fed rate decision, anything major like that. And tomorrow I'll be doing my morning show too. I just today, I did not sleep well last night, and so I couldn't do it. I just wanted to chill out and relax this morning. I've been pushing myself harder too, so it's like, and just politically, all the stuff that's going on is mind-numbing. Justin says, Sam Richards, he hates Chinese companies. Put that money where, get better returns. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Let me see here. I'll try and. You guys did a lot already. I really need to. Let me do this. I need to expand my text and then look at the other one here too. What's your target on Palantir? I think it's like 45 tops. That's why, again, I'm not. I basically was calling it as a top. I'm saying that 45, 46, like up here, where it's previous all-time high, a hair under 47, it's going to top. If it even gets that high, and then I think it's going to start going down. So I'm not super excited about Palantir. C-list, but generally I'm basically inured to portfolio swings. Immune, okay. AP, just rewind the feed. CJ, it just went over it. C-list, yeah, with MSTX, ETH, and option swings are big. This does not stress me, but I do. Oh, I lost yours. I'll have to look at the big feed. Freedom Fighter 1. Let me pull you up. I got to get these things. I got to figure out how I'm going to lay this out so that I can look at all these comments and respond to them better. That is definitely my next play here, outside of getting it to where my button works again. But let me expand over here on this screen so I can look at the ones on X and not lose them. I'll probably respond to these real quick because I'm sure there's less of them. So I'm just waiting for that to come up now. Yeah, so Faisal said SoFi. Yes, we'll look at that. We'll look at that stock. And then Chad Venture said, are you going to listen to the Fed? I already responded to that. AP said CJ went over it. Just run the feed. What's your target on Palantir? Freedom Fighter 1, this is kind of a strange request. It's a shit coin, but the only ETH-related coin I'm interested in, it's called Jasmine. I think I don't remember if I own that one or not. If you could take a look, it's only crypto-regulated in Japan, finished releasing all coins into circulation at the end of 2023. So I'm mostly interested in the price action from this past year. I was thinking about, we can look at that. I'll look at that in a second. I will look at that in a second. Let me just keep rolling through the rest of this chat here. 1 second here. So I go through. I might have missed a couple, but let me see here. Ethan says, hey, we talked on Twitter about March 2025 $15 iron calls. If you could go over them, that would be great. Appreciate it. If not, I can do my own DD. I'll probably remind me at the end, Ethan, and I'll try and get to it. Alex Garcia, I sold all my ETH and moved it to Clean Spark and Hood. I think that's probably a good decision. Justin, about 2 weeks ago when Jesse showed how ETH's use was declining rapidly versus Sol, I immediately dumped my ETH and put it all into Bitcoin. Yeah, not a bad idea, man. I think that's smart. Matt Nintendo MicroStrategy announced its proposed private offering of $700 million of convertible senior notes. Are you saying again? More? Are you serious? That wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't be the craziest thing they've done. I mean, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Yep, you're right. Cool. Thanks, man. gotta gotta love MicroStrategy. Thank you for the immediate news cycle here. C-List, did anything result from those rumors of BlackRock using BTC IOUs? I don't think that's a real thing that we have to worry about. I talked to it a little bit earlier. Maybe you saw it. Master of the game, Coinbase, BlackRock can only hide BTC on chain for so long. Yep, exactly. Needs 55. Said gathering tickers for you. Thank you, sir. C-List, Nio has got to go. Dario Ferraro says, I'm curious if you have any new option calls you're interested in placing. It's possible for us to jump with you. Yes, it will be, and I'll definitely do a member-only feed for that. I haven't done any research on the other ones. It's just there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to do for growing the channel, get the Discord going. Just a lot of things, period. New tools for making chapter. I'm running in like 20 directions and trying to figure it all out at once, but I will try and get that, and I'll try and time it to where it makes sense too, as other things start to make us a lot of money. That Felix investing guy pushes Nio incessantly. He's from Hong Kong. So, Daniel Dibb, your mic acting up, or is it just me? I don't think it's acting up, but let me know if it is, guys. Let me know if it's off. I probably need to get closer to it. Is it kind of like, am I hitting highs and lows more often? Let me know. I might have to make some adjustments. Andres, MicroStrategy just announced. Okay, yep. Daniel Dibb, if you just step away, CM's voice just goes to almost zero. My mic is getting really low. Is that what you're saying? Nio has great cars, but they're too expensive and they're not profitable. CJ McGowan, hey Jesse, joined late. So sorry if you already covered. For Palantir, would you sell stock or? And I said sell stock. I would sell my stock because I'd rather reapply that capital to the other things that I'm looking for to have take off. C-List, yeah, the MSTX ETH option swings are big. This does not stress me, but I do have a massive tax bill to pay soon. I don't want to sell in these with these in the dumps. I don't think you'll see that by the beginning of next year. And I feel you. You're hoping that Bitcoin isn't sitting in the shitter until, April. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Or maybe you're trying to pay by the end of the year. But generally, I'm basically insured to immune to portfolio swings. Yeah, cool. I get that. I'm the same way. Derek and Megan, thoughts on 4. We can take a look at it real quick here. And if I missed anybody, I know I was talking about going back to some. I already forgot them. So if I forgot yours, let's go take a look. For 0.52%, I think basically last time I said I think we're running to 88.50 pretty quickly here, and then maybe testing the all-time high at 92. It looks like a good company. That's my thought. All right, Jasmy is an IoT project, Internet of Things. I do have like 3,000 of it. All right, well, let's pull it up. Jasmy. I don't remember if I have this one or not. Probably not. Can you get it out? Can you get it on Coinbase? If the answer is no, I probably don't have it. That's pretty much how I made my decision last time. I'm like, what are the least shitty versions that are newer and that can make me the most money, or I believe in from the last cycle will do well now? That's pretty much how I did my review. And then obviously a lot of Solana because of James. Let's go to Coinbase. Yeah, so maybe I do own this one. I don't know. It kind of looks like shit from a technical level. Wow, it looks bad. It looks really bad. Now it doesn't mean it has to be bad because ETH looks bad too. It just looks like almost like a Head and Shoulders, and like it could break down to like 10 cents. It just looks like it could take a massive dump. But really what you want to see is this thing, really get back up above 40. If it gets back up to here to 40, then its chance of going higher is really good. Or if it just gets to 31 at 31 and can hold there for a period of time, then you're like, oh, we're probably going higher. But you really want to do at least that. Because right now it just does not look enticing as far as technicals go. It doesn't look pretty. But hopefully it is. Doesn't look pretty, but hopefully it isn't, or it is. And if you look here too, just again, technically, I don't like the fact that it's sitting with the 200 moving average above it now, and it couldn't get above it, and it's like now it's rolling over from peak recent volumes and ready to make its cascade. So I don't love that. David Chipinda, hey Jesse, what's your thought on BTC tops between 80 and 100K range? No, that's stupid. It's stupid. It's so stupid. I hear people say stuff like that, and it just again, not in regard to you at all. Just like people giving that kind of recommendation, and I'm just like, they don't listen to people like that. if they think that about Bitcoin, then they're not the kind of people you want to be listening to from an investment perspective. Or maybe they're good at some things, but they're really suck at this. So, but let's just go back 5 years and see how much interest there is in Bitcoin right now. So I would say that the Bitcoin interest right now is fairly low. And this is not when you top on Bitcoin. You top on Bitcoin in 2021 of January 2023 when it hit its first peak. Over here, again, when it did it in May. Over here, again, like in June, July. Like this is a sign. And if you go back even further, let's go back a crazy number. So if this is a better indication anyway. So like December of 2013, okay, that was a cycle top. Way over here, okay, June of 2011, that was near the cycle top. Over here, in 2017, that was the cycle top. This one over here, I think would have gotten a lot higher, and I say this all the time, but the Fed neutered rates at the most, like he raised rates, I should say, at the most aggressive rate in history, and I think he killed the last cycle top. I think we would have got to 100K then. And now our mid-cycle, again, our mid-cycle was nothing. It's nothing. It's not even comparable to the mid-cycle the last time. Not even close. And interest is way down here. Bitcoin didn't die. It just had the world decide that it's a world reserve asset. Everybody decided to start buying ETFs all across the world. Everybody, all the rich people across the world decided that this was something that is valuable enough to start putting their money into, and they can see the purpose of it. Even people like Donald Trump that hated it now support it and go to Bitcoin conferences. This is not even Kamala Harris and the Democratic regime has been so hostile towards Bitcoin and crypto, and even they are accepting donations in it. This is not the time that we top out. This isn't fucking remotely close to the time that we top out. And so whoever says that, just don't listen to them about Bitcoin or crypto, anything, because those people are idiots on that subject matter. Maybe they're smart at something, maybe they're smart at something. I don't know. But it's not this. It's definitely not this. Maytech says, yo, Jesse, what are your thoughts on the rate cut being a sell the news event or buy the news event in regard to Tesla? Thank you. It's going to help Tesla. I think it's going to be a good... Tesla hasn't went anywhere. So I don't think it'll be a sell the news event for Tesla because Tesla hasn't really went anywhere. Now, has it went up? Yes, but the whole market has been going up. Tesla hasn't done anything exceptional recently. Based on that news. So again, it's found support. It found support on the 100, but I think that was reactionary. You got to remember where this was in July. So like this impulse back up was that's just a bounce. That's nothing. When we came back down and hit the 200 at the 200 moving average on the daily, around the 204 range, that was good. Then we tested up to peak volumes. And right where the fib is, and that was great, that first fib line. And then we got close to it, and I think right now we're getting near the 50 moving average. That last moving average on the daily, we're going to make our bitch, and then we're going to go higher. But I think, again, liquidity is expanding, M2 is expanding. Like everything you could look at says Bitcoin go up. Everything from a fundamental says Bitcoin go up. Is my volume too low? What do you mean by volume, Silas? All right. Silas, inured. Oh, I'm sorry. Means becoming accustomed to something unpleasant. Yeah, not a word I commonly use. I hear the commune changes a lot based on your small movements. Okay, I'll have to switch that. I have it on far. Maybe I can do it right now. Let me just look at my mic. All right, let me test my mic here. I'm going to get it in closer. I'm going to do louder. All right. Nope, too loud. Let me test it again. Test it again, test it again, test it again, test it again. All right, can you guys hear me better now? Is it more stable? Hopefully. All right, let's keep going. DeFi Activated said, hey, Jesse, you've said a few times that you'll dial out of proxies at like 150 to 180K and then add to your stack. But why would you add to your stack at a top of a cycle and not wait until the bottom? I didn't say what I'd be adding to. I didn't say what I'd be adding to. I'll definitely be adding to my stack of some investments. And here's the thing. I think that's the first tier of my peak, okay? So let me just go back one here and explain this. So I believe that range, or I should say this, tier one right here. It's the next fib level, 92,000. Next tier that I'm expecting, where I want to dial out, I want to be out of all multipliers. I want to be out of all option plays with Bitcoin. I want to be out of shit coins or close to out, at least 50% out, maybe more. I want to be out of miners for the most part, right around this level. Again, I'd say at least 70% out of the multipliers, and then I'd be like in ETFs or something like that. If I did apply the money to Bitcoin, I'd probably start dialing into like maybe TLT, getting some cash on the side for bonds. If other things haven't shot up as well, I'm going to be looking at them. Has Palantir played sideways for the last year, or 6 months at least? And if it has, then hey, maybe that's my time to start dialing into that one as well. There's going to be a lot of other plays that I look at for opportunity. It's hard to know exactly what they'll be 6 months to a year from now, because I've got theories of that, but that could change based upon information. But that's kind of like the idea, right? And so my ultimate target is 250 to 280. That's my ultimate target. That's where I'd want to be out of ETFs. The only thing I'll be holding is a hard stack of hardware wallet Bitcoin. That would be it. Rick Vaughn on the X side says, Jesse, what was your strike and expiration for the RG calls again? I don't remember off the top of my head, but let's just check. It was $50 for January 2026. That's the stuff I like better. I would not touch 2025 anything. Not that it can't pay out, but I wouldn't touch it. Ahad says, yo. Faisal Khan says, yes. Master of Coin says, hey, Jesse, do you recommend shorting anything? Not right now. I might in the future. I'm not using anything as a hedge strategy right now for the election, if that's what a lot of people seem to be asking about. I'm not doing that right now. But yeah, so for Tesla, oh, Rob, thanks, dude. Somebody just gifted 5 memberships. I really appreciate that, sir. Thank you. And I'm glad the volume is better. Hopefully now it's stable and you guys won't have to worry about, crazy fluctuations from me getting too far away from it. I don't know. Let me see. Is that better too? Let me see. I don't know. Let me do this. I need to probably do one other thing real quick. I'm just going to do this and see if it helps. All right. Testing the mic. I like that. That seems better. It's a little louder, but I like it. All right, so yeah, again, for Tesla, I think it's just a matter of time, guys. I think with rates coming down, I think we're going up. So I think next step is really 235. Can we get above it? And then the next step right after that is like, can we get above? I mean, honestly, it's can we get to 236 or 220 or what am I at here? 226 to 227. If we can do that, then we're going to be finding our next base of support. We already tried to break out of a long-term trend. We tried, couldn't quite do it because the market was rough. But everything that's happening fundamentally with Tesla and with the macro economy, I can't see any direction but up. And my thought is maybe we break up here into the 30, 40s, grind down for a bit, maybe till after the election. Hopefully people will be like, oh, it's Kamala, but she's not too scary. So maybe X is safe, maybe Tesla is safe, maybe all these things are safe. Not without bias, like there'll be bias from the presidency if they get elected. But anyway, but either way, I think the market Tesla would recover and start going higher. Now, if Trump gets elected, I actually think it'll do really good because I think he's so pro business, so pro like lowering taxes, pro growth, low taxation. It's going to help a lot, and it's going to be quicker. Are you selling a few more Tesla contracts at the 240s? I would sell. No, probably not. No, I probably here's the deal. Maybe at 245 when we fill this gap, I might sell a handful, like 1 or 2%. But then I might sell 1 or 2% more at 270, right where we had this previous peak. And then the next spot I care about is going to be the other daily gap that brings us up to 290. I'd probably sell at 290. I mean, I don't know, maybe like 10% to 15%. I'll be 15% out. Max, like maybe 20 if I'm really happy with it. Because this is a lot of money for me. I mean, again, I've got just in my main account here with Tesla, I've got how much? $823,000 in calls. That's like a lot. It's like a lot of money just in the main account. I've got more. I've got stock and more options. I'm close to $1 million or more with options. So I own a lot of it. So I'll probably being at 10 to 20 out by the 290 gap fill, if we move quickly and we get like, what is that? Like a 30% move in a short period of time or close, that could give me a 2 to 3x multiplier. So let's say I've made $700,000 to $1 million. I could be 10 to 20% out there, maybe. And then I'll let the rest run. And the next target is really going to be like this fib line at 395, and then the all-time high at 420, and then it's off to 600. So it gets really fucking weird then. And there'll be some smaller scale fib extensions that I'll be redrawing to more refine my targets as time goes on. Sela said, "Dreaming Forest, just let it go. Nobody is saying it was show wrecking, but Jesse likes to be told these things. The volume was swing earlier. Yeah, I gotcha. Let's see here. Freedom Fighter on X said, could Cava be a potential short? Carvana, is that Carvana? They're trading a crazy PE of like 600. God, fuck, it could be. Maybe that's something we should do. All right, let's look at that actually real quick, because that's an interesting question. If that's Carvana, I can't remember. It's been so long. What is Cava? That's not Carvana. What is Cava? I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me go over here. It's a high PE, so that's a lot. Is the business going to be hurt for any reason? Because like a PE can contract a lot quicker no matter what. This one says the forward is only 256. That wouldn't be bad actually. It's not great by any means. It's a fucking stupid number. But you got to remember Tesla got to 400 plus PE too. So this is like, it's not great, but it's not insane. The question is, when are they going to slow down in growth and net income? That's when they really get crushed. Because otherwise, a couple quarters from now, they could be at a much better valuation. They could be sub 100 a few quarters from now if they keep growth or grow well. Let's look at estimates. The thing you have to do here is you have to be ready to time it just perfectly. I don't know, maybe check back. For me, I would think like maybe check back in a month, 2 months before the quarter comes to an end, and then reevaluate. Maybe there'll be an opportunity then. But again, this could take quarters. This is something we should probably keep an eye on, but I don't know. Because again, it doesn't have to. Let's look at, I guess we should do this. We should at least look. So this doesn't look like it's getting ready to roll over. Could this be a double top? Maybe. It looks like it's ready to break out. So if their business model is do better in a lower rate environment, then I think they're probably going to be fine for a bit. Let's see what else we got here. I'm behind, so if you missed it, Disease Kodak said, I'm behind, so if you missed it, I just want to ask again, do you plan to add any hedges going in? We were just talking about a potential one. It might be good. If you guys have thoughts on hedges, I need to get my Discord up so we can start sharing ideas. I want to have a channel for ideas for long, like multiple X returns. RJ, thanks for the 10 memberships, dude. I want to have a channel for that, and I want to have a channel for hedging too. So I think my primary focus tomorrow is going to be get the Discord up and get some channels going and start getting you guys in it, because I do think that's a good idea. But I think you guys have ideas where maybe on my downtime, instead of doing it during these live streams, I can look them up and then I can present you with, hey, you guys gave me 10 ideas, and here's 2 of them I really like. Here's why I didn't like the others. So I can do just like a responding app. Right now I'm taking notes, but this is like a much better way to manage all this stuff and hold me accountable for it too, if nothing else. Yeah, RJ, thanks, dude. I appreciate you a lot, man. You're a huge supporter of this channel, dude. You're a real stud. Sealess, Dreaming Forest, sometimes we don't catch something. I didn't hear it first time either, but then I realized others were noticing a real issue. Yeah, with the volume. No, I think it's legit. And I've made a ton of changes recently, guys, so there's going to be stuff like that where I've got to fix it. Rob Group, I've read Elon's biography, The Bitcoin Standard and The Price of Tomorrow. Do you have any other book suggestions? Bitcoin Standard, Price of Tomorrow, and Elon's biography. Let's see, what can I slow you down with so you don't ask me another book question? A depressing one is The Fourth Turning. Otherwise, I would maybe jump into Soft War. Then you can learn how Bitcoin might replace conventional kinetic war. I think that's a fun one. So I would personally probably check that one out next. I've read RJ Cohen said Alex Karp got a membership. Lol. Is somebody named Alex Karp in here? If that's the real Alex Karp, that would be amazing. I've said nothing but good things about Palantir, Alex. Andy's out. Jesse, is it time to bet on 50 bip rate cut on Polymarket? The CME tool says 67. I think that's probably what's happening. I don't touch Polymarket though. I'm not a betting guy. I know that might sound weird considering I made 600% last year from pretty speculative assets in some people's eyes, and some people might not have $1 million in calls on Tesla either, or have made 600 grand off of a much lower number on Palantir. But it's how I roll. All right, Chris Federal. Group is growing. Now Carp is here. Wondering why you won't buy. That would be funny. Hey, I'd talk to Carp, man. He's the shit. Jody Slanley, and I will buy. I have a share. You got to remember. I've got a plan. I might be wrong on the timing, but I think I'm going to be right. Jody Slanley, what about Dava as a long position? Is that like Cava with a D? Okay, we can do that. Master the Game, will you be watching Trump launching his DeFi thing on Spaces? Is that tonight or when is that? I can't remember. I think it was tonight, right? I don't know if I can. If I'm able to, I will. But my daughter has a skating thing tonight for school, and she's my baby, and I want to be there for it and see how it goes. And then Stefan said, hey, Jesse, what up? I'm late today. Not much, man. We didn't cover anything. I'm kidding. You should go back. Silas, I agree, Jesse. Palantir is a hopeless company. Yeah, right. Fuck off, Silas. Don't say that shit. Alex, don't listen to that. Don't listen to it, man. I've talked nothing but beautiful things about Palantir. And I was preaching Palantir's praises in April of 2023, and I got the fucking receipts to show it. Just in case Alex Karp wants to know, let's go and do it, guys. Let's show him. So I was a bull back here, and I had a plan, and that plan played out perfectly, and now I'm ready for stage 2 of the plan. And unfortunately, Alex, you are not a part of that plan. You got one share, but you are not a part of that plan. You will be soon, though. And if we go to war, I'm going to be feeling dumb. I just don't think it's happening yet. Chris Federal, an admin, says, I can verify it. Don't do that, Chris. Even if it was true, don't do it. Dava. Let's go to the dog version of Ava. Let's go to Dava. Do I have a Dava? Is this like Davos? All right. Let's get in here and take a look. Let's change Cava to Dava. In Dava. Wow, this thing took a dump. How often does it do that? Let's go to the monthly. Woof. I mean, there's bullish divergence on the MACD, and technically you got a higher high on the RSI, and you're above peak volumes. So one could ascertain just from that alone that we have... Actually, I could just do it this way. I could do a trend-based extension early. One could say this. Actually, I'd probably do it from here. It would make more sense to do it off the pandemic low, up here on the high, draw it down here at the low, and then, again, I would think the next step would be up here near the 38 range. Without looking at the financials, I can quickly glance at that. I do hold Palantir, by the way. Are you saying that to me, or are you saying that to Alex Karp, Silas? Revenue dropping on Dava, net income dropping, cash flow dropping. Still got cash, but you're diluting shares a lot. Your operating expenses are going up, but they're kind of flat. But your revenue's going down. I mean, that's kind of disappointing. You don't want revenue going down while your operating expenses maintain. That sounds a little crazy. We do have a forecast of revenue starting to go up again. Are insiders selling or buying? We don't have any information for that. Trying to see if there's anything else interesting. Stock-based comp is like almost 4%. This looked really pretty in 2022. If I saw this in 2022, Q4 2022, I would have been like, fuck yeah, dude, this is great. We should buy this. And then it did this, and it was just really disappointing. But yeah, I don't know. It could be bottoming. I think that's a fair thing, and I don't know what this company is just by glancing at it, but a forward PE of 20 doesn't seem crazy if they actually start going up again, like they say they're going to. Hey Jesse, what's your average cost on your Tesla contract? I started dialing in early, so it's probably high. It's probably pretty high. 2588, and they're at 4358. So I've only made, well, this says I've made $340,000 almost, but you got to remember I cashed out 340,000 already. So I've actually locked in some pretty decent gains already. So I'm probably up $500,000 on this one. And I got a better entry than some people, but worse than others. Young Jay, hey Jesse, what's your, oh, that was you. Seedless. So if you're real Alex Karp, know that I always like cross country skiing. My grandfather's small Vermont company made the first synthetic ski mask in the night. That's a great bit of information there, Seedless. Thank you for that. Slime on X says, Jesse, wouldn't it be wise to be at least have a small hedge for Tesla, considering you have nearly half your portfolio? I don't have nearly half. I have a little over a third. Would it be wise? Yes, it probably would be. You're probably right. But I got a gut feeling. So, and sometimes I operate off of that. I don't recommend that for like everybody else. But my gut, usually pretty good. And again, I think I've voiced some fundamental reasons why I think it'll do well too. Either way. So, would it be smart to hedge? Maybe. Probably. Am I going to? Fuck no. Nope. Doing my thing, man. All right, let me see. I think I might have missed a little bit of some Tesla news here. Let's go back. See what else we got here. China. What else? Do I have anything else about China? China's a shit hole place to invest right now. Love the Chinese people. Oh yeah, there's this. I don't think I showed you this yet. So this is fascinating. If you look here, this shows how different people around the world are getting paid out. It shows how much money they made, right? So you can see the different cohorts from under $2 to $2 to $10 a day to 10 to 20 a day to upper middle class around. This is for the world for all of these gauged, right? Of 20 to 50, and then to the high income of $50. This is I don't think this is hourly. Let me go back. No, it wasn't hourly. It's literally a day. So it's a crazy number, and it shows how little some people around the world make. And what I wanted to point out in here is that Brazil, arguably, outside of the top 1.4% in China, is just about as rich as China. And you would never get that perception by the way China advertises its rich cities. You would never get the perception that the majority of people still live in vast amounts of poverty. Now, is it poverty like India? No. Is it poverty like Indonesia? I mean, it's getting closer. But it is poverty nonetheless. It's more like Thailand, and you don't think of Thailand being super fucking advanced, but that's kind of what like China is outside of their large population. So I just wanted to put this in perspective that the US is infinitely wealthier, and Europe is infinitely wealthier, and Japan is infinitely wealthier per capita compared to a country like China. So I want you to think about this, and here's why I want you to think about this, guys. When you think about Chinese investments, remember how much pain the bottom, when they talk about the lower class being in pain, that is over 80% of their population. So I want you to think, like, when you have low to mid class there, and again, their definition might be a little looser, but when you think about like how much they're actually making in dollars, there is massive amounts of pain being felt at the bottom. Sure, do some of the rich still buy nice things because they can? Yes, but even they don't want to be too flashy because they're afraid of getting in trouble with the CCP, because the CCP can lay down the hammer. Again, there's a lot of things we'll talk about with China. I'll probably stop right there. Let me jump over. I think Tesla's really the big thing I skipped here. So let's jump into it. I did say this. This is a little old. It's on the September 4th, but I put nice boost for Tesla Cybertruck sales in Canada. So Canada, it said on the 4th, now eligible for a $10,000 clean BC rebate for businesses and organizations plus federal capital cost allowance, pending approval from Quebec federal rebates. So this will be a huge incentive for people to be able to buy these in Canada. We also know, and again, this is just showing all the features. It probably has music. I don't know. I don't like the music. I'm not going to do that. This is just showing my truck and why I love it so much in 60 seconds. And it's just like, it's got the outlets, it's got the four-wheel steering, it's got the screens in the front and back, it's got 2 subwoofers. It's amazing, bulletproof. It's air suspension. It's 11,000 pounds of towing capacity. That all-wheel steering, guys, when you're driving fast, it's amazing how maneuverable you feel for something that's that heavy. But again, this thing is just an amazing truck. I also wanted to show this. It says X is the #1 app now for news in 140 countries. That's 4 more than it was like a week and a half ago when I updated you guys last. X is blowing up around the world. The son of the walkie said Tesla full autopilot capability button appears in China. So we're looking at expanding autopilot in China. And again, X verified says track key conversations and trends with more powerful querying tools. If you guys haven't seen this, this is amazing. So just the data analytics at a glance that you can pull up. And just their data. I complained about this all the time about their, the video side, you don't know what's happening. You can't see enough of the analytics. You don't know how much people are watching you. It's showing views, but is it really just impressions? It's got a different view number underneath that really is just impressions. Like, what is it? It's all getting so much better, guys. Everything Elon touches gets better. Tesla Cybertruck is now being delivered in Mexico, a third country. And we know we've seen the Cybertruck now in China too. I don't know if I have it in here. Oh, it looks like I had this in here twice. I don't know if I have it in here, but there's literally a version driving around in China that's okay to drive. And so it's another sign that we're seeing that Tesla is doing really well. I wanted to say this. I wanted to show something Amar posted, Holmar's catalog. He said, and this is political, so if you hate politics, I'm sorry, but politics sometimes intertwines with everything else, including life. It says, I believe that the vilification of political opposition leaders such as Donald Trump and Elon Musk have contributed to the multiple attempts on Trump's life. To Elon's point, we have multiple assassination attempts against one party and none against the other. I also made another comment about how it's interesting how the BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement, the Free Palestine movement, and just all the other violence that we're seeing is really like, again, left-based, like illegal immigration and all these things. It's all coming from that side, whether it's being fostered through illegal immigration and police reform bullshit, or whatever it is. It's just there. And but anyway, he says this kind of willful twisting of words to stir up hate against the political opposition. These 10 to 20 second clips. And don't get me wrong, both sides do this. I think the severity of it on the woke left is worse. But he said, stir up hate against the political opposition is a part of the climate that has led us to a place where political violence is now the norm. It's the norm on one side. The long-term consequence is that our best qualified leaders will not want to serve because they don't want to endure attacks on their family and attempts on their life. You can help change this by saying no to the outrage of the day and trying to be reasonable and independent person instead. As a former Democrat, I feel someone has to call it out when they see something ugly coming from their side. And I think that's right. And again, it comes from both sides, and I've been very much emotionally attached with a lot of stuff that's going on. It's hard not to be, man. Especially if you believe strongly in capitalism and freedom and you see it under attack all across the West, in Australia, in the UK, in Brazil, in Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela was already in a dictatorship, but trying to get free and not being able to break out. It's just very scary. And then when you hear those same things here, it scares you. I said, somebody posted, most of you don't want to hear this, but Warren Buffett is kind of a shit person and absolutely a false idol. He funded sugar factories and shady banks and insurance firms to make a fortune while building nothing that was really good, an example. And I said, I agree. I'll take an Elon Musk over Warren Buffett all day long. What do you think? I opened up a lot of debate by saying, what do you think? That's very interesting. Good way to, though, if you guys are smaller accounts and you want to grow your audience, you probably already heard this, but I just want to make sure to say it. If you want to grow your accounts, the smartest thing you can do is to ask questions and interact with people with larger accounts. So on your posts, say something, but then ask a question to try and draw people in to get them to respond. The multiplier to the upside for how your message gets conveyed out isn't tied as much with the likes as it is with replies. That's why people do all these stupid fucking things to try and get people to just blow up their comments, because it's a great way to explode your user base. So I don't try to do that very often, which is also probably one of the reasons I'm not growing as fast as I was before. But if you wanted to, that's a great way to grow. I just wanted to throw it out there. Eric Voorhees says SpaceX more in 5 years than NASA's done in 50. Incentives matter. Capitalism, what did he say here? Capitalism is virtuous. I agree with this 100%, which is why I'm such a huge advocate of capitalism. This is an insane rate of pace. When you think about everything else, when you think about the fact that Starlink, too, we've got 7,000 satellites in the Starlink constellation out in space that can give internet to almost every inch of the Earth over that same time frame, too, and then just everything else Elon Musk is doing. If you guys are betting against this man, I feel bad for you. I just think it's a horrible idea. I think it's a great way to miss out on an opportunity. When they talk about opportunity cost, the definition of it is that. This says Holmar said the two wealthiest people in the world are Tesla shareholders and you're still underweight. Again, Larry Ellison and Jeff Bezos, and they're smart enough to figure it out. Let me see if there's anything else we want to do here. Again, just also the bias from Viv posted this. I already said this once, but I just got to show this. SpaceX drains air from spacecraft while astronauts are inside. That was an article that was posted because they were doing a record-breaking spacewalk with two women doing a spacewalk in a new suit that had never been used at the furthest distance from Earth that we've ever been. And that's the kind of headlines you get. The Mexico one, and again, here's a visual of what Starlink looks like. And I don't know if you're not amazed by this, and this is old. This is 9/13. I think we just broke 7,000 because a couple of days have passed. So if you're not amazed by this, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. You're obviously not paying attention if you're not amazed when you look at this. If you see that train roll around in the sky and you aren't amazed. I wish this was true. This was something that said somebody showed this edited version of San Francisco with a GFY, go fuck yourself, but it was not true. It's a parody account. So that made me sad. I think that's about it. Again, this Polygon thing that people love to hate is saw 62% growth in the pace of their building them in 1 month. So I hope you guys are paying attention. Let me see here. Let's see. SkiWax. We got the SkiWax story. We already did that. If you could look at Yum, says Disease Kodak, that would be cool. My friend just bought into it. Curious of your thoughts. I can look at it. Yum, 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 yum. You know what sounds good? Food. Yum is like Yum is a pretty big cat, man. It's not definitely one that's not going to be a mover. This is like kind of a boring play, right? Yum Brands. So, does history tell us that this is probably a good place to buy? I mean, it does, right? If you bought at the 50, that was like the place to buy on a bunch of different occasions. It was here, maybe, here, 100 here, 50 here, 100 here, 50 here. So I'd say there's a pretty good chance that this is in a breakout zone to go higher. It is a $38 million or $1 billion market cap, though, so you're not going to get a lot of movement. And I can just do the chart real quick. I don't care about their finances. It's such a boring company, but I will do this. I'll go over here to this April of 2020. We'll call that the craziest of lows. We'll draw this top over here. We'll draw this bottom right here. And then what I would say about this is I do believe that it's found its base in the 236 fib extension, and that what it's getting ready to do is break out past the all-time high around 142, and that it's going to try and hit resistance at 150. And what usually happens with these is the golden retracement zone, where we'll kind of ride the band again. If you're playing the bands on both sides, up and down, would be over here around the 186 mark. But that could take a while, and that could be like the move over the next year. So I don't know if I'd be really excited about that personally. Justin says, Rob Group, I've noted a bunch of books Jesse has recommended in the past. I need to have that. That should be in like a Discord too, right? Like books that we recommend as a community, and then like I can have ones next to it that I like too. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I actually think that's pretty good at figuring out how you can manipulate debt to your benefit, while maybe not having to pay a lot on taxes or pay on off years, like whatever. The Art of Not Giving a Fuck is one of my favorite. I've said that before. Dreaming in Forest, Jesse, in case of some serious World War III and or Civil War escalation, would you reallocate or get out of the markets or buy up the lows? Fuck, man. I don't think we're headed to war yet. I'm hoping that I would have a lot of capital ready to go by the time that happens. And so I think my cash position will be a lot higher by the time we're ready to do that. A civil war isn't practical. That's not happening. Could we lead to a civil war in the years ahead if the economy falls apart and we lose our world reserve status? Yeah, totally. We could be in a world war. That I could see. But is that highly likely right now? I would say no. That's not likely with this upcoming election. Even if there's contention and craziness, as long as she doesn't have power over the Senate, that's what's going to matter. If she gets power over the Senate, if for some reason Kamala won, then I would worry about civil war. And World War III won't happen yet. I don't think. China isn't ready. They're just not ready. They're still in threat mode. Will they become more ready in the year or more desperate? Probably less ready, but more desperate. Because you have to look back at wars. Wars come when there's desperation. I mean, Germany literally started invading the rest of the world because of a depression, right? And the fact that they were suffering from a previous war. And so that led them to not give a fuck attitude. They started going after the gypsies and the Jews in their country, and then they just kept raping and pillaging across the rest of Europe. So, and that's not unheard of. Again, when kind of finances have a lot of the times have led to war, because it's the whole like, and we do it here, I think in the States too. It's the whole like, oh God, don't look at that over there. Fuck those guys. Let's invade. And whether it's defending for some reason or whatever it is, that's kind of what politicians do everywhere. So I think we're safe for a while. Long answer. Little history lesson. Sealess, if you wanted to play in Chinese stocks, the time was before the great financial crisis. They were fun then. Yeah, I mean, again, I just revert back to that chart. Where was it here? Right here. This is damning. The growth is out of China. And this is just the first part of damning. It is not a good look. Dario, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on BRKB. Is that which one is that? Berkshire? Is that Berkshire? I can't remember what they look like. BRKB. I don't have it on here. We do this. Yeah, those are their Class B. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's probably going to do well. I don't think this is probably like, what do I think of this? This is a lot of time, first off, right here that I'm looking at. But this is probably like another investment where you can think of it as like store value, like cash, even in a recession, because they have such a massive stockpile. So what do I think of Berkshire Hathaway? I think that along with my TMF play or maybe TLT or something when I'm gathering cash, along with other investments that maybe make good hedges at the time, this will be a thing that I probably allocate to too. Just because it can give you a decent return in a down market. In a down market, it's probably going to get hit too, right? But they have massive amounts of capital they can apply, and your downside risk probably isn't too great. Let's actually look, though. You know what? Before I say that, before I get too stupid, let's actually look at history and see what it tells us. So we have in Berkshire Hathaway kind of crashing back in January. And then, again, probably the pandemic news because they were getting infected overseas, maybe with whatever investments they had in China. So maybe not great, actually. 229 to 150. So I don't know. This probably wouldn't be something I touch. I think I'm a better investor than Warren Buffett. I know that sounds cocky as fuck. But he's the old guard, right? Like his way of investing was during one time. The world looks a lot different now. It's a lot different. We weren't back in his prime. We weren't as indebted as we are now. We weren't printing money at the rates we are now. I don't even know if he factors any of that into his equation. I mean, that's not really even his thing. So I don't know. 55% drawdown. Yeah, fuck everything I just said. I would not use this as anything. I'd just be looking at other investments. I can do better. Seedless, interesting. The unified chat shows censored messages on the YouTube chat. Really? Cool. That's fun. It just gets around it, huh? I guess that makes sense. All right. I got a lot of likes on my reply to the article, Futurism Drains Truth from Reporting While Readers Are Inside. What was that article? Is that like what you would look on X for? Let me look. Is that on X? Or is that an article somewhere else? Let me know, Todd. The SpaceX article. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that one's so stupid. That's just such a... I mean, great that you got likes, but what a crazy fucking article. I got a lot of likes on my reply. Yeah. What was your reply? What did it say? I didn't even look. Jesse, I had bought you based on your ARLS asymmetric return leap strategy, and it's doubled in the last week. Cool, man. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, when a market starts going up, if you own something that's got an asymmetric bet behind it, you can do really well. Is it still super undervalued, or what's it at? I don't remember. Matt Nintendo, value investing made sense back then. Yeah, exactly. It's just such a different world. I mean, he was the man for what he did at that time, but it's not a value world anymore. It's insanity. It's all or nothing. Lena, normally I only take stock requests in Freedom Fighter. I'm trying to do those on just YouTube because I can't actually make money on X. I complained about this earlier. It's been like 15 months since I've tried to get subscriptions going on X, and they won't do it. So if you guys get time, if you could click on that post and just be like, Linda, do this shit. Give this guy this thing. Because I would like to be able to do subscriptions. And I can look at it. I'll look at Target. I'll look at Celsius for you guys. What was the other one? That was Freedom Fighter. I'll do it. I don't care. But ideally, though, in the future, I won't be unless they can get subscriptions going, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. Makes sense to have this channel be supported financially. Ideally, then I can get other people to do more work. Celsius actually might be finding its bottom, man. I think I might have said this before, but we're right above peak volume. We're underneath the 200. Once we get up to the fib here at 39, if we get above that, it's like it's game over. It's you're back in it. So 39 is probably like the real safety zone versus 33, but it looks like it's bottoming. And you have to remember, like if the markets take a complete and utter shit, then it's going to go down here probably where I said, starting at like 25 to 22. But if the markets don't take a shit, it's already down 67% from its high. And if I remember correctly, I don't know, the valuation might be still a little high. That's probably like why I painted it down lower. Let me just look at it. So yeah, if you look here, the valuation, what is it, 28? No, that's way better for the forward PE. So yeah, if anything, it's probably near the bottom. All right, yeah, the rest. Yeah, we can look at those. Sorry, and I didn't get my full list. Thank you, Justin. I can go over those too. I kind of skipped a lot today because my button was broken. Let's do it, though. Hood had a really good day. Let's start with that. Where were you? Yeah, Hood. So, again, this is one where I made almost 10,000, I think, or something on it. Probably between all my accounts I did. But we went up. Well, I guess we only went up 0.63 in the end. It was up higher earlier. So it retraced a little bit, but I would expect it to keep going higher. I don't know why it retraced at the end of the day. But, again, we're above. Like, we're right at. And it didn't retrace like too much. I shouldn't say that. This thing's still, though, stupid cheap when you look at all-time high, which it was definitely overvalued at the time. But I'd say it's working its way towards that valuation now. It's down 73.89%. And we're above peak volume. Or at least creating it, right? Like if we do this, like we're right at that peak volume level. Yeah, we're right above it. I still expect us to go up, anywhere between 30 and 34 or 35. That's what I think of Hood. That's my take on Hood. Let's go to the next one here. Clean Spark, yeah, we can look at it. I can't remember if I skipped it. Probably didn't. Clean Spark down 3.3% on the day, but so is all of Bitcoin. Actually, probably the better way to do this is just to look at all the miners. Iron did the best today, and there was a reason for that. It was where the heck is my, oh, here it is. All right, 1 second here. Let me get into it. Miners. Let me get into this here. This is probably just a better way to look at it. So Bit Digital got absolutely destroyed, down 8% on the day. TerraWolf down 7%. MicroStrategy down almost 5%. Riot down 3.3%. CleanSpark down 3.3%. Looks nice in comparison. Bitfarms down 3%. Cypher down 2.5%. Bitcoin down 2%. Hut outperforming. Mara outperforming, only down 1.55%. And Iron, the only real winner of the day, at 2.25%. On good news of expansion and everything else. The company seems to be executing on a lot of levels. I don't know. They're pretty decent. I like what I'm seeing. I'll report more about it on the weekend. All right, let's go over here. So that's all Bitcoin related stuff. Let's look at PayPal. I think PayPal had a decent day, but let's see if it started to drop at the end of the day too. And again, I skipped a bunch of stuff. I'll probably go back to my regular format. And then highlight things kind of right out of the gate after that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. But if we look here, up 1.38% on the day is not a bad day by any means. And again, it's just a matter of getting above. We want to get above like 74 and turn it into support. So if we can get to 75 or something, we get above this peak volume across the entirety of this company. And I'll switch to the monthly just because it's so hard to see. But if we get to peak volume across the entirety of this company right at the 74 range, and we turn that into support, then we're going to go to 83 really quickly, I think. And with potential of not really hitting strong resistance, or I should say more resistance, until 98. And then after that, it's really just a matter of like trying to hit the .618. And there are some things that can try and pull it down beforehand. On the weekly, I think there's a moving average. Yeah, there's the 200 coming in at 126, right around there too. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. What time is it? 4:30. All right, let me see. SoFi, do that. I might do the rest of these requests tomorrow, guys. I had a long day, and I'm still tired. Like I said, I didn't sleep good last night. So I might do more of this later. I'll do SoFi, and I kind of looked at Coin, but I could look at it again, and then I'll probably stop. SoFi was great today, and I posted about it too, I think. So if you look over here, you can see how we got above the .618. We were up over 4.5% if you include after hours. Really, there's no resistance until like the .786. Let's go to the daily. All moving averages are beneath us. Everything's beneath us. Let's see if the monthly. We don't even have good monthly moving averages because this company hasn't been around long enough. So yeah, there's nothing holding us back. It's a quick shot to 950 on here. All right. Otherwise, though, guys, I think I'm taking a break. Yeah, PAGS is one of the ones that I'm looking at. Wondering if you had a chance to look at PAGS. I have not focused on it in depth yet. But again, my big thing tomorrow is probably getting the Discord to work. I'm going to go in and fix my bookmark issue so that I have this thing popping up correctly again in the future. And other odds and ends that I'm going to try and do as far as configuration and just making sure things are working and maybe the flow of how I run this thing for the morning show and then also the market recap. But I'm going to try and get the Discord going too. So that's the big thing tomorrow. And then again, Wednesday's going to have its own big thing with the Fed. That's going to be huge. So I'm going to try and get some other work done too. Really though, it's going to be building out the Discord channel so we can put stuff like PAGS in there. But yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and call it. So appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to go ahead and play us out with a video. Let's see, what should we do here? We'll maybe do something a little. I'm going to do this one. You guys take it easy.
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency currency. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay?
Right? Like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, I mean, right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
Forever, Laura.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 Okay?
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam artists.
These people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. What do you do? Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. What do you do? Yourself. Is that clear?
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. People love the pump. Yeah. Got them lining up. Wow. See us winning, FOMO in and YOLO by the top. Dream of Lamborghini. Girlfriend in bikini. Front covered Forbes magazines where you'll see me. Oh, what? How? Price went down. Who will save us now? Felt like a hero. Now the fear is here and it's clear as steering to zero. Yeah. Hands weak, bags heavy, and I'm ready to forget about already all the hopes and the dreams. So puke your position like mom spaghetti. I'm hungry and got long cash on and ready to just buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. When there's people crying, that's when I'll be buying. Yeah. When they tell you their investment conviction is dying. Oh no. But the market's dead. Yeah. That's what TV man said. It's time to sell it, walk away and sit in cash instead. Pump, what? Price go up, guess that's just your luck. Sold at the bottom a lot of you gotta learn how to hold on to whatever money you're gonna earn and not get shaken out when they run the stops. Although it tends to pretend to the dips and the bends, you know the trend is your friend all the way to the end. So I buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. Buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
Buy that fucking dip.
Oh.
Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and split.
Buy that shit.
Buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
Buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip.
Well, well, well. You know what time it is. Whew. We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs. There's no greater feeling than hitting that sweet.
Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Yeah, run it back. We back in the black, we back in the green. Got the team all around me. We rowdy and causing scenes. Where you been? Grab a cup, baby. Come and take a sip. Oh my bad, yo, what's up? Man, you didn't buy the dip. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's really gotta suck. Only problem that we got is that we didn't buy enough. Man, I joke, man, I kid. Know exactly what we did. Now we pull up in the whip. Cause we just hit. Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Got my family on the phone, they asking what they should buy. I say a time machine to take you back to when I was trying to get you buying on the low, instead you trying to buy high. I guess it's time for me to sell this shit and wave it goodbye. Like sayonara, I don't wanna be stuck there with the bag. Don't be mad, I'm just saying I'm taking some of the cash that we stacked up, baby, cause we out of here. As we blast up straight into the stratosphere. Right through the old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky, we just buy and get rich. Old time high, old time high, old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby, we